Why? And that I go and say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice in my bay, yeah. You riding on me, I get my drip overseas. Niggas are hating on me, yeah.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Pieces and blessings upon all my Akhis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Split Decision. I'm your host, Akhi. To my left is no other than...
Oh, my bad. I was just cleaning off this belt right here. Professor Nims, you know, the pundit with the PhD in pugilism.
Yeah, I see you cleaning the belt for the champ over here.
Nah,
Charlo, you know what I'm saying? He done stole Canelo's strap, and Canelo is nowhere to be found. So to all the casual fans, it's a pleasure to have y'all here. Welcome to the Akhi family. If you want to be part of the Akhi family, all you got to do is subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans. Now, all the casual fans, we got a solution for y'all. Y'all could attend the Akhi University, and we offer the Book of the Truth. So if y'all want to have a better chance of graduating and becoming hardcore boxing fans, all y'all got to do is take the time out of y'all day and open a book and read it, and y'all will have a better chance of graduating. That being said, we got real-life professors teaching at the Akhi University just to let it be known.
So Akhi, man, I saw they calling me AJ, man. I'm reading the blogs, man. They say I got my swag back.
Well, you can't be AJ right now. The only reason why, because you got Deontay Wilder strap, and AJ will never go near that strap. He don't want that type of smoke, but we're going to get straight to it, though. So just to let y'all know, we will be going live. After 12 rounds of split decision, we came to a unanimous decision or a split decision. You know, some people had Professor Nim winning. You know, some people had Akhi winning. But at the end of the day, tune in live, call in. We could agree to disagree. We could debate, or y'all could show love. Whatever y'all want to do, we with it. We with the smoke. We with all of that. So that being said, let's talk about first the fight we watched early in the morning, which was AJ versus Ruiz. Obviously, Charlo fought later that night. But let's speak of AJ versus Ruiz. Now, I'm going to just get my first take on it real quick. Obviously, AJ flew like a butterfly, and he sting like a bee. That was the blueprint to beating Ruiz. He reminded me, or that fight reminded me of Floyd Mayweather versus Corrales. I remember Corrales before the fight, he was saying that Floyd Mayweather, he ain't going to be able to run all night. He going to get tired. And Floyd Mayweather fought Corrales. Yeah. Floyd, he will land great punches on Corrales. And Corrales was like, whoa. But he was smiling the whole time. It was, I think, past the third round, his impression changed. And I saw that same impression with Ruiz after the first round. When you told me, like, you see Ruiz's face, he obliged AJ. He told him, good job. And you don't do that. You gave AJ more confidence. Now, obviously, I picked Ruiz. A lot of people pick Ruiz. However, everything I stated in my prediction that AJ needed to do in order to win the fight, he did it. And that's how he actually became victorious. I told you he needed a hold like Klitschko used to do. You know, kill a minute of the round. Klitschko, he didn't fight 12 rounds every fight. He fought 6 rounds because he will hold half of the fight. So AJ kind of took that blueprint. He also controlled Ruiz, the shorter fighter. He boxed beautifully. He circled around him. And he showed me one thing that I did not expect, which I must admit, he did not gas out. So it might be beneficial to drop another 5 pounds. It might be beneficial to drop another 10 pounds if that's how you're going to start looking, you know. So AJ looked great. The heavyweight division is back rolling again. I mean, AJ back on the map. Deontay Wilder always been on the map. And for the people that think it's easy to become a super champion like the Brahms Bomber, it's not an easy thing to do because you could easily get upset like the Ruiz thing. And that's what I told you. AJ is basically cleaning up the mess he made, you know. So you always got to be prepared. AJ, I believe this loss will teach him is that you got to be ready for every opponent. It don't matter who you fought. It don't matter who you about to fight. They all finna train their hardest to beat you. So you always got to be prepared. You can't take no opponent lightly. Don't judge a book by its cover. And that's what I believe AJ did when he fought Ruiz the first time. Now, Ruiz, on the other hand, he got comfortable. They always say it's hard to become a champion, but it's even harder to maintain as a champion. And Ruiz failed in that field because he started partying, he started enjoying, celebrating too early, and now he's looking like a one-hit wonder with this performance against AJ. So what's your take on it? You obviously switched your pick last minute after the weigh-in. You could touch on that and just your whole thought on AJ performance.
So, I want to give props to AJ for a very, very good performance. So part of me was I watched the weigh-in, and not only the fact that Ruiz came in at 283 pounds. He did have his clothes on and a sombrero, but there was no excuse to come in tipping the scales at damn near 300 pounds. And then what I saw in AJ's physique was I saw a slimmed down version. He put the weights down. This is not bodybuilding. This is boxing. And I was giving you a comparison that. So to me, when you think about heavyweight physiques, I thought that Muhammad Ali had the perfect heavyweight physique. Like if somebody sketched up or drew up somebody, I would want somebody like Muhammad Ali. Right. So Muhammad Ali had long, lean muscles in there. He had good reach, had big, strong legs to move him around the ring, and he was a strongly built guy, but he wasn't heavily muscled. So you didn't see any stamina issues, or because, like I said, with all those big muscles you have, every time you throw a combination, which is equivalent to doing a sprint, you have to pump oxygen right back into all those muscles. So the bigger contracting muscles that you got, the easier for you to tire out. So I saw AJ as somebody who had a boxer's physique. I mean, when I saw the slim down version, I thought about Muhammad Ali. He looked like a muscular version of Ali. When at first he looked nothing like Ali with that slim physique. And then to me, I just saw a kind of a focus in him that, you know what, no more games. I know what I have to do. My career's on the line. And from when I saw that, I was like, I think he is ready to get over this mental hurdle that he was battling with at this time. And so this might be one of those points in somebody's career where we say that this was a very pivotal moment. And then Ruiz, I thought he laid an egg. He came in. He definitely enjoyed his fame at this time. And we made the comment that he was playing with house money, and he seemed to think that. My pops was here, was watching the fight, and he kept on making a statement that Ruiz is not supposed to be here, right? Or
yeah,
what did he say?
From all the fans on the comment section, we asked, drop your prediction. If you get it right, you get a split decision T-shirt. Now, Pops got it right. Professor Nim Pops. Obviously, he a fighter. He a OG in the game. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on his name. Now, when I asked your Pops, I was like, who you got winning? He said, Ruiz ain't supposed to be here. I was like, what do you mean? He said, I think AJ basically is going to show that they both on two different levels. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of people had that vision, or not a lot of people thought AJ was going to win in that fashion. I know a lot of people picked AJ, but still they were saying it's going to be a tough fight. But AJ showed that he a different class, where at least just last night, which – just to your Muhammad Ali point, Muhammad Ali the greatest of all time for a reason, because, I mean, he a heavyweight, but he moved like a lightweight and punched like a heavyweight. And the way he moves and his reflexes, he's just on a whole different level. Now, AJ, in my opinion, he had the right mindset, and that's something Ruiz didn't have. Ruiz didn't look like he was ready for this moment. Maybe that's why he was delaying the fight. Talking about, I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia, this and that. Mm-hmm. And obviously, AJ, he didn't make no excuses when he lost, but Ruiz had a lot to say, which I didn't appreciate that. I didn't see that coming from Ruiz. Yeah. Now, we're going to get to that, but is Ruiz a Buster Douglas or Rahman, in the boxing game right now? Or is he a better fighter? Because remember Buster Douglas, I actually made a video on this, and I said when Ruiz was partying too much, when I was dropping videos on that, and I was like, does he want to be a Buster Douglas in the game, or does he want to write his name and stamp his name in the history of boxing? And Buster Douglas was actually a good fighter. People don't know how good Buster Douglas was, but he wasn't dedicated to his craft.
That's exactly the point.
When he fought Tyson, he actually Tyson, I believe he didn't train much, but Buster Douglas, on the other hand, his mom just passed away, so he came hungry, trained harder than ever. And you saw, like, even the fight before that, before he fought Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas dropped somebody with a jab, knocked him down twice with a jab. So Douglas wasn't, a fighter that wasn't meant to be there. He was actually meant to be there, and it's just the perfect timing. However, when he fought Holyfield right after, when Tyson Fury went to jail, you saw how much he blew up in weight. You saw how he looked against Holyfield. Now, I believe Holyfield was the better fighter, period, but still, he didn't come prepared like he did for the Tyson fight. So, like I said, people hate Floyd Mayweather all they want, but it takes hard work and dedication to be undefeated for 20 years, not to have an off night. That's, for you to be a millionaire, almost a billionaire, and wake up every night grinding like you ain't got ish, that I got all the respect for that. Deontay Wilder, he a champion, and like I said, he a 10-time world. I mean, he defended his title 10 times. That's not something easy to do. So Ruiz, that should be a life lesson, because now he talking about, in the third fight, if I get to fight AJ for a trilogy, I'm gonna come in the best shape of my life. You should have did it for this fight. What were you thinking? People like AJ, his career was in front of him. His career was in front of him, and retirement was behind him if he lose this fight. Ruiz, his career also was in front of him because he had the Wilder mega fight. Now that's just a regular fight. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's no longer mega fight. So do you think, is he a Buster Douglas in the game, Rahman, or is he a better fighter? He was just had an off night due to fame.
So I've thought about that. So with Buster Douglas, I think you are right. If you actually go and look at some of his tape, Buster Douglas was somebody who actually was a pretty good boxer. His dedication was always in question. And then he had one kind of bad loss where I think people kind of questioned his heart. But that Mike Tyson fight, he came in incredible shape. He was throwing a piston-like jab. He was moving around the ring beautifully. And he caught Tyson in an off night in there. With Hasim Rahman, I think Hasim Rahman was the benefit of I wouldn't even call it a lucky punch, but just a well-timed punch with a lackluster and unfocused Lennox Lewis in there. So I think that when you talk about Ruiz, he sits somewhere in between that, because I think he's a more talented fighter than Hasim Rahman. Hasim Rahman was a very good athlete, but he was limited as a fighter, in my opinion. With Buster Douglas had the credentials, he had the skills, but his dedication was in question. He absolutely laid the egg against Holyfield. So I think Ruiz sits in between it because he is a very skilled fighter. People haven't questioned his. Well, I guess there might be some questions about his commitment because of his physique. But he was somebody before who never had any stamina issues. He had quick hands. He never had really kind of fast feet in there, but he was somebody who was able to get to great heights with the limitations of his.
Ruiz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. He was at the top. He's at the pinnacle. But to come in when you know in the mind that AJ is gonna move a little bit, he doesn't want to necessarily engage because he knows that you are a quick counter puncher. Why would you put on this extra weight when you know that you're gonna have to cut off the ring? Which he did a terrible. I can't even call it cut off the ring. He didn't cut off anything. He followed him. And I didn't think about the comparison to Mayweather because that's just a different level. About supreme boxing.
I'm just saying the mentality.
No, but I think you're right because one of Mayweather's best weapons in that fight against Corrales was that lead hook, that lead left hook, and that was something that AJ landed quite often. Yeah. But he absolutely put a tattoo in on Corrales out there. He was jabbing to the body, getting Corrales to, lower his hands, and he would come with the right over. But he came in with a stinging jab, and then he turned that jab into a hook. Actually.
And obviously, I'm not trying to take credit. Obviously, I was picking Ruiz. They called me, a hater, but I was showing Ruiz love. But at the end of the day, AJ, he the one that came in prepared. You know what I mean? And even though I picked Ruiz, AJ did everything I said he needed to do in order to win. So I didn't think AJ had the right mindset, but he did. You know what I'm saying? So even when I'm wrong, I'm still right. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, as far as Ruiz and AJ, I wouldn't call him a Buster Douglas, but the fact when I saw the DAZN episode when Ruiz hopped in the ring, right? They had this footage. Ruiz, he just rolled over to the ring.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on. Like he rolled, he was on his stomach talking, and I'm like, oh hell no. Is he ready? Yeah. Like, and the picture looked wrong because he didn't look like he was in the best shape of his life. Mm-hmm. Even though that was the biggest fight of his life. Mm-hmm. To that point, yeah, the first fight was big for him, but this fight was even bigger. And he's out here rolling to the ring. I saw that. I was like, man, this is embarrassing if he beats AJ again. Regardless of what people say, regardless of his weight, just the fact that he's rolling over to the ring, like he not, Prince Nassim Hamed used to do flips. Wilder, he would cross the ropes, and this dude rolls over like on some panda-ish. So when I saw that, I was like, it's embarrassing for AJ to lose to this guy again. But he made sure he took his notes, and he used his boxing skills and box circles around Ruiz. Now, before I talk about Wilder versus AJ, I just want to talk about what AJ said responding to Ruiz calling him out, winning the third fight. He said, if you heard, is a third trilogy match with Ruiz. Ruiz Pops came out and said that Ruiz wasn't focused, he didn't train. Now they making up all these excuses. Now this is the funny part, right? When I reported on AJ partying too much, I'm not too informed. I'm just report, like I see a report that a writer wrote. I report on it, right? Now Ruiz, he responded to all of us who actually said that he was partying too much by saying during the press conference that he don't believe the critics. He's ready, this and that. He's taking this fight serious. But now, as soon as you lose, now you want to go back like, oh, yeah, y'all were right. I was partying too much. I was doing this. I was doing that. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? When AJ lost, he gave you your props. Yeah. When you lose, don't make up excuses, then say, oh, but AJ was the better fighter. Just say he the better fighter. I'll see him soon. I will get back on top. And then your fans will make excuses for you anyways. Exactly. But the fact that you making excuses, it makes you look bad. That's not the character of a champion, because even Prince Nassim Hamed, they call him all this cocky. He cocky, he this, he that. But when he lost, he took his L like a man. Floyd Mayweather never lost, but I believe if Floyd lost, he would have took his L like a man. Deontay Wilder the same way. So, yeah, he a humble person, but you got to be humble in winning and humble in defeat. And I don't think Ruiz represented himself well. Now, do you want to see a trilogy match? And what do you think of his team and Ruiz making all these excuses, losing to AJ? And AJ, he didn't do that when he was in that position, even though he did make excuses after. But I'm talking about right after the fight. He didn't make excuses. So you can talk about it.
I don't really recall him making excuses. He kept on saying, like, it's on me. And I'm speaking of AJ, apparently, like. And he had a lot of opportunity to make excuses. His dad got in the ring, tried to fight Eddie Hearn. There was some rumblings about them trying to cancel the fight or doing this. And AJ, he said, no, this is Pops. Like, this is on me. Like, this is me. I'm the fighter. And then that's what Ruiz, the first thing he said was that he was unfocused, or I didn't do this, I didn't train like this. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, that gives insight to somebody's character. And as I told you, after the first round, I didn't like his mentality. He basically after the round, he got boxed. He kind of saw AJ's plan, and he just basically like a sparring session. He just kind of like gave him props, like, yeah, okay, like that's what's up. I see what you're doing. Like, no way. Like, push him out the way and be like, all right, man, let's get out there. Like, you got to do that for 11, 12 more rounds or whatever. So that should be your mentality, not giving him props in there. So I didn't like it. It wasn't a good look on there. As far as the trilogy, I'm really not that interested in seeing it. I want the three-headed monster to I want it to become one. I'm talking about Wilder. I'm talking about Tyson Fury. I'm talking about Anthony Joshua. I want that. So all the other ones, and Eddie Hearn, who I don't have a lot of respect for, he's already kind of squashing those plans already and saying that, he's got a couple of mandatories with Pulev and Usyk, and I'm not interested in those fights either. But they're going to do it, so they went and got their toy back, so they're going to go take their toy and go home and hide it away from Deontay Wilder.
They definitely going to keep it hostage as long as they can and milk the money as much Eddie Hearn can, because Eddie Hearn definitely doesn't want to put AJ nowhere near Wilder and AJ himself, because AJ, he the boss. He said, Eddie Hearn just worked for me, so he could make any big fight happen. Mm-hmm. But just touching on the Ruiz situation, it's like you said earlier, obviously, now you want a trilogy match. Now you want to get in the best shape of your life. But when you had the rematch, why didn't you do that then? You knew AJ's plan was to move around and box. He literally told you that. You even said it. I even heard his interview where he said AJ's going to try to box, but it's not going to work. So why is you going to try to come heavier? Why are you not going to come and step into the ring lighter so you could cut off the ring? Work on cutting off the ring.
Work on it, yeah.
I mean, AJ was just circling around him all night. Whenever he flat-footed, he's circling around him. Take 2 steps, and Ruiz got to reset because he can't throw punches till he resets. So why did you come heavier? Why you didn't take the rematch seriously? So like I said, you're looking like a one-hit wonder. And the pressure got to him. The fame got to him. And like I said, it's hard to become a champion, but it's even harder to maintain as a world champion.
Absolutely.
So Wilder reaction, before we get to that, Wilder versus AJ fight next. Now, AJ stated a month or 2 months before the rematch, he said, after I beat Ruiz, first of all, is you going to bow down?
No, I'm not bowing down. Nothing.
You ain't gonna bow down?
Like, I already told you what if you want somebody to bow down,
fight Wilder.
Fight Wilder and Tyson Fury, and then we could
talk about it. Yeah, this is
like,
you just cleaned up the mess you made.
That'll make you the lineal champion, because I'm still not sure who they classify as the lineal champion. It's still it might be Tyson Fury.
Yeah. So now AJ, he said 2 months before the fight, he said, after I beat Ruiz, I want like a little break. I want a tune-up fight. I don't want to hear no Wilder talk. Now, I don't know what changed his feelings. A week before the fight, he stated he want Wilder next, which is an absolute cap, which I don't believe it. Actions speak louder than words, and I just don't believe it. So now they talking about he has to fight his mandatories. He have to oblige by his mandatory obligations, this and that. So when can the Wilder fight happen? Because Wilder versus AJ, right? If Wilder knock out Tyson Fury, he's the A side. I don't care what nobody say.
No, you're right. Like,
he probably do almost 1 million pay-per-view buys versus Tyson Fury in the rematch. He did 300,000 versus Ortiz rematch. A guy he already knocked out, and Ortiz can't even speak English. So the Fury fight is even bigger, obviously, on a whole different scale. If Wilder knocks him out, he automatically the A side. AJ is the one that avoided the fight in the past on more than one occasion. So he the one that people going to blame for, because Wilder, he the one that tried to fight him the whole time. You know what I mean? So the longer AJ waits, the longer he put himself in a bad position, because Wilder turns toward the A side, which I predicted is gonna happen, and then he has to fight Wilder on his term, which it won't matter no way because Wilder gonna put you to sleep as soon as he land. Now, when you think the fight gonna happen, and when it does, who will be the A side?
I mean, there's a lot that could go on that would help determine that. I don't see the fight happening next year, and I'm very disappointed.
Next
Usually,
year?
like I don't see it happening in 2020. They've already stated, and this is Eddie Hearn. He came out there was like, oh, we got these mandatories, so we're gonna go and do this. So to me, that's signaling that you are not trying to make this fight and push this fight. So we're talking about. I really don't understand this. Max Kellerman always talked about there was this sentiment that it only takes one bad night, particularly if you're a heavyweight, or even one bad moment, and you could lose at any time. So I think he was talking about Muhammad Ali, and he was saying that I'm gonna go ahead and fight the best and the best out there, because if I have a bad night against some mediocre opponent,
I'm gonna look bad.
Then I'm gonna look bad. So he ducked nobody. So I wish AJ would come with this mentality. Right now, he's got this monkey off his back. He seems relieved. And then now he's going back to his old tactics, because he's like, all right, I've done this. I've addressed that. I got my belts back. Now let me keep fighting over in Europe and stand away from these killers over here in the U.S.
And the last time he touched the U.S. soil, he got sent back to the U.K. He was supposed to hang out with these football players. He no longer did that. So AJ, he knows what it takes to be the best, is fight the best. I mean, it's perfect statements what you made. Ali always fought the best, never ducked nobody. He actually went to Cuba to fight the most dangerous Cuban fighter and try to turn him pro, right? And the reason I bring that up is because AJ is a perfect example. He cherry-picked Ruiz in a way. Obviously, it was a replace opponent. But at the end of the day, it just shows you, hey, you thought this guy was sweet. You was looking at Deontay Wilder. He knocked you out. So you can never underestimate any opponent.
Exactly.
And that's why Deontay Wilder always fight the best, because he's looking at it like, at least if I lose, I'll lose to one of the best.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? People could talk ish about Nassim Hamed or so on or whatsoever, but he always fought the best, called out the best, and when he lost to somebody, he didn't lose to like nobody like Amir Khan did or so on and so forth. He lost to a legendary fighter. So that's what I'm saying here. Now, seeing the rematch, the fact that AJ, maybe he fought more American way, the American style, not the European style. You could touch on that. Do you think that could benefit him against Deontay Wilder, or none of that matter because he still got hit in that fight? So as soon as Wilder crack him, it's night-night. So did you see him elevate from a European style to a more of a American style of boxing? Can you touch on that?
I saw a little bit about that, and just so for people, so to me, I think that there is probably 4 distinct styles that are associated with a particular country or area. So there's an American style, and it's American style, but it's really kind of like a black American style, and that's where you are very nimble at the waist. Right? So like you're ducking, you're slipping, and you're doing this, and you've got good shoulder movement. Then there's a European style, which is very straight up or whatnot. So they want you to fight tall. They want you to work behind your jab. It's kind of a stiff-looking style, similar to what Klitschko and them did before Emmanuel Stewart got a hope to him.
And the Mexican style.
And then there's Mexican style, which is
forward.
You're moving forward. You're digging the left hook to the body. You're breaking your opponent down. And then there's a Cuban style, too, that we don't see a lot of it because a lot of them didn't have opportunity to turn pro, but it's really predicated on a lot of movement, like really good foot movement, stop, quick and engaging, throwing combinations. So to me, those are those styles. And AJ was trying to implement a bit of a more of an American style into his game, not be so stiff. And you could see some of that. Yeah, changing levels, like throwing a jab.
Give different look.
You know what I'm saying? Throwing the jab to the midsection and doing those things. So I think it's a good look for him against Wilder. So I think he's going to have a lot of success against Wilder. I think he's going to be able to. I think he's clearly the superior boxer. I don't think he has the superior chin, and he doesn't have the superior punch. I think he throws when he throws his combinations, when he sits down on them. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Wilder, I'm not sure if he can throw combinations. It's a joke, but
he don't need.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. With that stated, so I would really like to see that fight.
So like my question is like, did you see improvement, and can he beat Wilder with them improvement, or it doesn't matter?
Against Wilder, I think that he can. I think that he can take a lot of what Tyson Fury. I think Tyson is even better boxer than AJ. I think he can take a lot what Tyson Fury was able to do against him. I can see him holding a lot, doing it, making it kind of ugly, throwing his good combinations. He just has to be able to get up from at least one knockdown.
So will you
I think
favor
that he
him?
could win. Would I favor him? I would not at this moment. I want to see a couple other fights, but at this moment, I would favor Wilder.
All right, and just touching on a couple things you mentioned, the Mexican style.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Tyson was a perfect Mexican style, if you want to call it that, because he will pressure you with head movement, perfect technique, and just a lot of Hispanic fighters didn't have the athletic ability that Tyson Fury
and bending
Mike
at the
Tyson,
waist.
yeah, Mike Tyson had.
Yeah.
As far as the Cuban style, a lot of countries started hiring Cuban trainers to win Olympics and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And they doing better. I believe
Cotto's,
Ukraine and UK.
Cotto's, like one of Cotto's trainers at one point was a Cuban trainer, and you can see it,
Yeah,
that little thing in his style.
And I believe the Ukraine or the UK, one of them two, the lead coach for the Olympic team was Cuban.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I in my opinion, AJ looked good against Ruiz, but Ruiz is such a short fighter that he wasn't in range most of the night. Yeah. So even if he caught the jab and wanted to counter with the right hand, he's so out of range because AJ was controlling the range so much that it didn't matter if Ruiz counters him or not.
Yeah.
Because he has to reach. And even if he reaches, AJ's still out of range because he could see it coming a mile away. Now, the fact that Wilder has more reach than AJ, is a little taller, he could land his jab. He could actually set up his punches. He don't have to work as hard as Ruiz does to get in the inside because he's the taller fighter.
He doesn't even need to get on the inside.
Yeah, and all he really need is one. So and the fact that his power is so intense, as soon as he feint him, for example, AJ's all stiffen up, burn energy. Like he was more comfortable fighting Ruiz because Ruiz on the outside. So he could. The only time he had to be aware of Ruiz is actually even when he hits him, he has to be aware of, okay, I got to move out of the way because he's trying to counter me. But hopping.
So now with that, who do you favor?
Oh, Wilder puts him to sleep, on the meme, posted on World Star, on all the news channel. You know what I'm saying? On CNN, I'm just telling you, it's finna go worldwide with this because he not sending him back to the UK. He's sending him back to the motherland. For real. He's sending him back to Africa. Like he ain't even
that tattoo. You see this? He got the motherland on.
That's the type of power AJ has, man. I mean Wilder has. So Wilder's reaction to AJ wins. He did what he had to do to win. He ran around the ring to a victory. He landed a punch, but instead of ending the night, he hold, clinch like Klitschko did back in the day using that method.
He did.
But as far as Wilder, he said he has a different mentality. He go in the ring. If basically he's saying, if Ruiz knocked me out in the rematch, I'm going to go back and knock him out. Because I'm like, nah, you ain't finna do me dirty like that. But
it's not smart.
But obviously, Wilder is speaking from his perspective, from his attributes. AJ, because Wilder said, he would land a great punch, but instead of following up, he would hold him, clinch him, or move around, which was the right strategy.
That was the right strategy.
Yeah, but I believe even your pop said it. He was like, he need to throw combinations every now and then, just
to keep him honest.
Yeah, but he didn't. That's what I think Wilder reflecting to. He's like, you know what? You could have sat down on one moment and realize, okay, I'm gonna throw 1, 2, because once you land one, you in the right position to land the second one better than your opponent.
Yeah.
Regardless if they looking to counter you. Ruiz was looking to counter AJ after he get hit. And that's how he actually dropped AJ in the first fight on more than one occasion.
That was my point.
But I'm saying you have to be aware of that. So when you do land, you know what I'm saying, you follow up and you will land first because you already hit him first. However, AJ was playing it safe. He did exactly what I said. Wilder said everything that I said last show, funny enough. He said he used the Klitschko method. I told you he had to use the Klitschko method, which is he hold and tie up.
We both talked about it. He was like, he needs to smother his work. He doesn't need to engage when they're in close. Tie him up, make him carry your weight, lean on him, make it a little bit ugly. But that's the only chance that he has is when is in the middle of an AJ combination, and that's exactly how he got hurt. Yeah. So AJ threw a couple. Like he threw a nice combo where he caught him with like a lead uppercut and followed up, but he didn't do it too much, and which I kind of agree.
And I see AJ, the adjustment he made, which is as soon as you hit him, obviously anticipate a punch coming back, regardless if you hit him or not. Yeah. Because he has that great of a chin, and he's such a fighter that has great balance, and he's so short that even after he get hit, he come back with a great counter. So AJ took great notes. And either clinch.
He took your notes.
Yeah, he took my notes. You know what I'm saying? I want some cash for that. Or Parker. I believe he watched the Parker fight a lot and took a lot of notes from that because he was circling to get away from the right hand or the left hook. You know, so I just think that AJ, you know, one thing he could have definitely have done to possibly even hurt Ruiz is, like I said, throw combinations every now and then, you know, just to get his respect, because he got his respect from round 1 when he hurt him with that right hand. Yeah. But I believe he could have even possibly
dropped him in round 1. Yeah, he cut. So also, and then I want to talk about, I guess the name was Chris Mannix, but he was a guy who was responsible for scoring the bout, and he had just some terrible
things to say.
Yeah, advice. He was talking about AJ needs to like dig to the body and do that.
He said he need to fight low.
He's like, he needs to fight low. He needs to get lower. I'm like, what are you talking about?
He need to fight tall. Like, he the taller fighter. Why would you give Ruiz the fact that you tall? Use the advantage of being tall. Why would you fight short and give? It's
I don't think he's ever been in a. I think that was the closest he's been to a ring. I know he hasn't boxed before.
It's funny. That's the problem with analysts or fighters. Now, I don't call him no analyst, but a commentator that don't know much about the sport. He will watch the first fight to see what they were saying, and they be like, "Oh, AJ, when he throw that jab, he need to go low, like because you throwing a jab, right? To stick him with that jab." That's the only time they were talking about that.
Yeah.
Not during like the fact that he boxing and throwing the jab upstairs. So he think, oh, he need to fight low. Like, nah, that's not what you're supposed to do. That was a horrible a statement by him. But like I said, as far as Wilder's reaction, I think Wilder's just looking at it like, hey, man, regardless him boxing great or not, he still got hit. And all it takes is one. And if you box, you're going to get hit. Just like if you swim, you're going to get wet. Now, obviously, AJ, he got splashed a little bit. He didn't get wet that much. But that splash from Wilder, that's all it takes. And the fact that AJ, once he get cracked, he have a hard time recovering from, you know, the fact that he got dropped. Like we seen that in the Ruiz fight the first time. It took him forever to recover. Matter of fact, he didn't even recover.
He didn't recover from that.
Yeah, he had almost.
But he did get up and recover from a Klitschko knockdown.
But Klitschko was 41 years old, and he had stamina issues in himself. So he didn't want to go for the knockout and end up gassing for air. So Klitschko was playing it safe, trying to win by unanimous decision, in my opinion. However, a guy like Wilder, he hurt you, or he coming for that kill. Now, obviously, Wilder, he could fight or knock out Dillian White if AJ's not willing to fight him after the Tyson Fury fight. I mean, Dillian White looked horrible.
Bad.
And, man, I ain't even trying to hear Dillian White name. Obviously, they cleared his B sample, but at the end of the day, 3 months. It took him 3 months to come out with a B sample. That should have been out 3 months ago. But I'm not gonna.
Another Eddie Hearn controversy. Wow.
I'm not gonna ish on a man while he's down, but now he's up. So hopefully he get the opportunity he been asking for. And sometimes you talk yourself into a check that you can't even cash. You know what I mean? So I believe that's the Wilder fight for him.
Based off that last performance, I think Wilder would definitely get into the ring with them. Eddie Hearn was trying to make that fight more than he was trying to make the AJ fight in there because he was trying to save his prize boxer. But I think he goes to sleep against Wilder.
And one last thing before I hop into the next topic. Ruiz, instead of trying to counter AJ, he might well punch with him because he was getting hit and was still able to come back with his own counter.
He should have just went for it.
He should have just punched with him. The fact that he knew he was losing, wait till AJ actually throws a great punch or whatever, trade with him. That's the only way he could have possibly won that night with the physique that he came in, the way he decided to fight. Now, the next topic is lines only. Lines only in the house. Obviously, this is Canelo's strap. We took Canelo's strap out. You know what I mean? We out here with his strap looking for all the smoke. So that being said, Charlo knocked out Hogan.
Whoa,
a great fighter.
Whoa.
Listen.
Hogan's a great fighter.
He a good fighter. And we got Canelo strap. I'm trying to figure out how is Canelo strap is over here. Obviously, my man Charlo sent it my way. He was like, you know what, represent for the lines only. So I'm finna represent. So I'm saying Canelo, where he at? Hogan stepped up. And we still don't see Canelo. So you telling me Hogan got more heart than Canelo? I can't believe this ish. Listen, so Hogan, for the people that want to discredit him, I'm going to just let it be known.
Okay.
He beat Munguia. Munguia is an undefeated champion at 154.
Well, he didn't get credit for beating him.
But he beat him. You go on DAZN. Y'all could go to DAZN. Watch that video. Look at the comment section. And you will see more than dozens of comments that say I'm Mexican and they robbed Hogan. So give him his credit. He earned the shot. He moved up in weight. Since the big dogs aren't willing to step up and fight my man Charlo, Hogan stepped up. So you got to stay busy, man. We ain't trying to get freezed out like y'all froze Riggindale. So we trying to stay active so they won't use the excuse, oh, well, he not active. So he active with Canelo strap. So that being said, as far as the Hogan fight, he obviously, you saw the knockdown. Yeah. He dropped him with a counter uppercut, similar to the William knockdown. However, this time was with the left hand. They worked on it in camp. And then the left hook knockout, man. He feinted him with the jab and caught him with a lead hook. And that was all she wrote. Now, how'd you rate the performance? What you think about Charlo? And we're going to get to him versus the other fights, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Hogan fight.
I thought it was a good performance. I think that when you set out to have a showcase fight, which I think that this clearly was, there's some things that you want to be able to do. You want to get in some rounds. You want to look impressive. And then you want to use that impressive victory as a platform to call out other fighters. And I think he accomplished all those things. He got in some rounds. He looked impressive against I'm not going to call him a B-level fighter, but, I mean, he might be. He was coming up in weight. I didn't think that he posed much of a threat at all. I didn't really understand Hogan's game plan going into that fight.
That's how he fights. He's an awkward fighter that move around. Yeah. And if you watch the Hogan fight, not Hogan, the Munguia fight, he looked great in that fight. I mean, he was outboxing Munguia. He made Munguia look like a nobody. So, it's just the fact that he fighting Charlo, and Charlo is just that elite. It's just that he not having the opportunities.
He's a very athletic fighter too.
He's just not having the opportunities that he need to have. But Hogan was a better fighter than I even expected. I'm not gonna lie to you. It would have looked bad if Charlo didn't stop him, but Charlo showed in and he showed out. And that being said, Charlo after the fight, unlike Canelo, unlike Gennady Golovkin, he called out Andre. He said, Andre, I want all the big fights. If Canelo don't want to fight, if I have to fight Andre next, I'll fight him next. Tell Andre he knows how to contact us. Tell him to make the right decision.
He's done it several times.
He said, you tell him he knows how to. The way he got himself to the zone, he knows how to get himself over here and fight me. He also called out Canelo. He also called out Triple G. He also called out Jacob, and he interested in Benavidez at 168.
Really?
So that being said, Charlo, man, he out here, man. He represents. See, I'm a Leo. I'm a Lions only. Oh, for real?
Yes, sir.
Man, stay over there with Canelo, man.
I'm a Leo.
I'm surprised you ain't a duck, because that's what you representing is Canelo ducking over here.
What?
So we Lions only. Listen, Simba in the house.
That's duck season.
So what you got to say to actually Charlo calling out all these fighters from Andre to Canelo, Gennady Golovkin, and Jacob? Who will step up? Who's going to give... You think Andre's going to go to Showtime and fight him?
I don't think he is. I think they could work something out to get that fight done. So let me say this. Let me talk about the star power of Canelo, because
let's not talk about star power, because I could care less about his star power. What that mean?
Because I heard Canelo was out there partying with Chris Breezy, and I thought that was Charlo's brand.
Exactly.
I thought that was Charlo's, man. He out there partying.
Oh yeah, I'm informed on that. I'm informed on that. He was actually with Chris Brown, because Chris Brown was trying to tell him, when you gonna fight my man Charlo? and Canelo was like, man, I thought we were friends. Why are you trying to get me beat? So what I'm saying is this. You can have all the star power in the world, but when the fight is not interesting, nobody cares. Like, people ain't picking your opponent to win, then it's not an interesting matchup.
It's
so
not
Canelo,
a 50-50 fight,
it's not a 50-50 fight. Canelo is not fighting the best fighters in his division. Canelo moved up from 160 to 168 to 175. He didn't fight the number one champion in none of them divisions.
Okay, all right. Let's start. Let's go.
So
at 175, who?
All of them. 154, 160, 168.
Who was the best fighter at 175?
Better be right now.
Really?
He got 2 straps.
He's the best. To me, I think he's even the lineal champion.
Who?
Was Kovalev.
Kovalev just got knocked out by Alvarez. He was no longer the Kovalev. That's not the Kovalev that Andre Ward fought. It matters when you fight your opponent, like Gamboa, for example. Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Gamboa. We ain't treating it like, oh, that's the Gamboa back in the day. It matters when you fight your opponent. Kovalev is no longer the crusher. Is he a grandpa? He had his one foot out the door, right, like you said. So that's out the way.
No, we can argue. We can agree to disagree. So 168. I'm not gonna give him that much credit,
he fought. Yeah, he did.
No, he did fight. He did. I'm saying, like, I'm not gonna give him credit.
Rocky
as far as
no, man.
I'm not.
Hell no. He fought Rocky Fielding.
I will say that he did not fight the best person at 168. But at 160,
Can I speak on that?
Oh, Rocky. Okay, and then let me finish. Go ahead. Yeah. And then I'll finish my point.
Guess who was on that field?
Who?
Charlo and Andre. And he chose to go to the Rocky Fielding field. Come on, man. Keep going. 160.
And then 160, he clearly fought. At the time, Triple G was the boogeyman, was regarded as. Max Kellerman had him as one of the greatest middleweight fighters ever, and he fought him twice.
Max Kellerman, the same guy who came out and said Gennady Golovkin's career is a hype job.
It is.
Agreeing with new media. Now, let me tell you why that victory against Gennady Golovkin is not all that. He was not number one at middleweight when Canelo fought him.
Who was?
Because Gennady Golovkin, when Canelo fought him the second time, he already vacated the fight, his belt, the IBF strap. He vacated the IBF strap to avoid Devyachenko. And ironically enough, they fought 2 years later, and Devyachenko beat him, in my opinion. And a lot of people, including Max Kellerman, stated that Devyachenko beat Gennady Golovkin. So we know he's not the best because he vacated his strap, just like Canelo vacated this strap and gave it to my man Charlo. So that name is also not relevant.
Give me a name at 160.
But I'm saying, for Canelo,
no,
he didn't fight the best at 160. That's what I'm saying.
Tell me who it is.
All right, so are you finished answering the question that he didn't fight? So that proves
Canelo
ain't fought none of the number one fighters in either one of the divisions.
Listen, at 160, he was considered the lineal champion once he beat Cotto, who had beat Sergio Martinez. At 175, he beat the lineal champion. No, I'm talking about Alvarez. So so the championship from Bernard Hopkins, he got beat by Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor got knocked out by Kelly Pavlik.
So who had the lineal belt?
That's what I'm getting to that.
I could care less. Just give me the name.
Sergio Martinez beat Kelly Pavlik, and then he was the lineal champion.
And Cotto beat him.
And then Cotto beat him, and then Alvarez beat him. So he's actually the lineal champion.
Cotto, at the time when he beat Sergio had a knee issue. Come on, now.
He basically was a one, but he still beat him.
I'm saying
he
Cotto,
waited for the right time.
I could care less about this lineal title when it don't mean ish. If this guy
That's
gave
the most
up
legitimate title.
He gave up that strap at the time. Canelo, after he beat Cotto, he gave up the strap not to fight Gennady Golovkin because he thought Gennady Golovkin was all that. He didn't fight Gennady Golovkin till Gennady Golovkin looked bad and exposed against Daniel Jacob and Kell Brook. But all I'm saying is he didn't fight the number one fighter in each division he fought at. 154.
You haven't told me who was the number one fighter.
So I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna go over all the divisions.
Okay.
Forget just one division.
Okay.
We bring facts to the table. You know what I'm saying? So 154, he fought around the time Charlo and Andrade was in the division.
Right.
Actually, both of the Charlo brothers.
Both of the Charlos were there.
He didn't fight neither one of them. Matter of fact, on paper, he turned down a fight against Jamel Charlo when Golden Boy released him because they had to oblige the contract and give him the Canelo fight, which they couldn't do so because Canelo didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight Charlo, and you keep saying, "Oh, well, he ain't fought nobody." When he knocked out Williams
at 154,
at 154 at the time, Canelo was still around that weight, and he chose not to fight him. And then obviously Charlo, they keep saying he chasing the belt. He moved up a division. He was like, I don't care about Canelo. He moved up and tried to fight Gennady Golovkin, and then Gennady Golovkin ducked him. Charlo was Gennady Golovkin mandatory for more than 2 years. After Canelo beat Gennady Golovkin, Charlo ended up being Canelo mandatory for like almost another 2 years. So that's why they gave him the strap, because Canelo wasn't trying to see him. Gennady Golovkin wasn't trying to see him. So 160, when Canelo moved up, the best right now are Charlo and Andrade.
What?
He was supposed to fight them for undisputed. He said out of his own mouth.
Better than Jacobs, better than 160.
I'm going to tell you why he better than Jacob Andrade. He fought Salusky. Salusky almost had a draw with Jacob, and Andrade beat him every single round. So let's all be honest. Jacob, my guy, he from New York City, where I'm from. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you what it is. So Andrade and Charlo, the best at 160, they were at 154. He didn't want to fight them. Now they 160. He don't want to fight them. He said he want to be undisputed. I did not say that. He said that. Oscar De La Hoya, out of his own mouth, he said that in order for Canelo to be great, he has to fight the likes of Charlo's and the best at 160. And he did not do so. Moving to 168, Benavidez calling him out. Benavidez, I meant. And all these, Caleb Smith, all of these, but they not the best. I'm just saying, he ain't fought none of them. He fought the guy that came off a knockout loss in the first round, Rocky Fielding, who didn't have a real strap. For the people that don't know, there's a WBA super title and there's a WBA regular title. Canelo fought for the regular title, and it's a title that you pick up that basically the WBA made a new strap. Back in the day, in order for you to earn a WBA super title, you have to defend your regular title 10 times. Now they're just giving out titles. So let's move on. 175, he had this Beterbiev fighter with 2 belts. What he chose to do, fight Kovalev that almost got knocked out by Yard. And you admitted to this. He actually was washed up. You said out your own mouth that washed up.
I said he had 1 foot out.
So exactly. So
but he was the bigger name, and he was the recognized champion.
If Kovalev fight Beterbiev right now, he get knocked out. We all know this. You know it better than I do. So I'm saying he didn't fight none of the best in each division, but he want to be called pound for pound number one. But you got to earn that in the sport of boxing. You are not just given a title like pound for pound number 1. You know who Floyd Mayweather fought in order to get that title without any question? That's why Canelo can never get that. Floyd beat everybody from 130 to 135 to 140 till he got it. He didn't just get it. And when he got that title, nobody questioned it. No, but even Floyd Mayweather, the biggest haters, they never questioned Floyd Mayweather being pound for pound number
he
one.
was. I mean,
but Canelo Alvarez.
The only argument was Roy Jones at the time, but once he fell off.
But I'm talking about when Roy fell off. So all I'm saying is, in order for Canelo to prove himself, because all these Canelo fans keep saying I'm a hater. How I'm a hater when I want to see the fight that everybody want to see? That Professor Nim and London, my man London, apply pressure on Canelo. He got a podcast called Apply Pressure on Canelo.
Shout out to London.
London, he Canelo biggest fan. He said he will fly to Charlo fight if he fight Canelo Alvarez.
We all going.
So I'm saying, when Kovalev fought Canelo, he Canelo biggest fan, and he didn't even show up because he could care less. So the fight is not interesting. It's not intriguing. There's no buzz behind it. That's why they did their lowest numbers, and they didn't even release them numbers. So Wilder fought on pay-per-view.
What did you say yesterday, though?
Listen, Wilder fought on pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
And they released them. They're 300. And they released them numbers. Canelo fought Kovalev a month ago, and they haven't released them numbers. So it showed that he's not doing well, and he won't do well while he maintain on cherry picking. The Zone is upset with him.
They are. I mean,
Oscar De La Hoya upset with him. His own countrymen are upset with him.
But no, what did you say yesterday?
Yesterday?
You said I'm a Canelo fan.
I am. I want to see Canelo fight the best. They say,
but you don't give him his props ever.
Give him his props for what?
So to me, saying that he's got the best resume at 160, he's the lineal champion at 160. The 168, I'd throw that out.
I would like to say he got a made-up resume. That could be very tricky because Canelo Alvarez, you could say he got a good resume, but if any fighter from the coincidental list are in his shoe, they would have did way more. For example, Floyd Mayweather. When he was this money man, look who he fought. He beat Canelo Alvarez himself. He stole something.
He also fought Robert Guerrero, Andre Berto.
That's his last fight toward into his career. Can you name me 10 fighters that Floyd Mayweather fought that you didn't care about? He fought 50 times, right?
He's 50-0.
Yeah, okay. Give me 10 fighters that you don't care about.
McGregor.
Yeah, okay, keep going. Let's go. Just go.
Robert Guerrero, I didn't necessarily care for that fight.
When Floyd Mayweather fought Robert Guerrero, they were claiming that Floyd is ducking him, and he will give Floyd Mayweather a lot of problems, so that you can't use that name. So keep going.
Andre Berto, who's been knocked out by
Andre
every
Berto.
Mexican.
Okay, that's his last fight, a retirement fight. Okay.
Well, hold on. Because
no.
Floyd is my dude.
No, I don't want you to stop.
Floyd is my dude. So I don't want the people out there to think that I don't.
This is why
Floyd is my dude.
If Floyd is your dude, this is why you sound like you hating. Because you comparing him to Canelo when they don't compare, and I'm gonna prove it. So can you keep going? Because this is my hand.
I got 3.
No, 2. Who's the third one?
Robert Guerrero. How come
Guerrero?
How come I don't get credit for Robert Guerrero?
I just said Robert Guerrero. Marquez himself said that Guerrero could beat Floyd after Floyd whooped his ass. So it's just showing you. Hold on, let's talk about Canelo. You name me 3 fighters his whole career.
Sean Bay Mitchell.
Hold on. No. Can I name them? Can I name them? For Canelo. And you agree or disagree?
Okay.
And this is on top of the head.
Top of the head. All right.
On top of the head. That dude on 147, what's his name? Baldemir. Old grandpa dude, washed up as hell. Was his retirement fight. One. Come on. Raise that hand. Ricky Hatton.
I'll give you.
Ricky Hatton, brother.
That was his first time fighting on a big undercard.
What? He fought for a belt at 154. And he fought against... It was for a vacant belt.
That was a made up.
For a vacant belt.
That was a made up.
Oh, so he's not a champion. So he a fake champion. That's what I'm saying. His resume is made up. Let's keep going. Amir Khan moving up 2-weight divisions.
Amir Khan called that fight out.
Amir Khan, I don't care. It's the cherry pick.
Good money.
He could have fought Andre and all them guys. Let's keep going.
I could care less about that fight.
Let's keep going.
Okay, you got 3.
Lopez. He made him.
See the Lopez. That was a good fight. That was it's. I mean,
he was fighting at 142 fights before that, and he fought this dude at 154. How is that a good fight?
It was.
Hold on. Let's keep going.
Because Josecito is. You knew you were going to get action in that fight.
Is you really going to sit over here and trying to justify him cherry picking Lopez when he was fighting at 140?
How many people have fought Josecito Lopez?
How many people beat him? That's the better question. like Lopez, right? I'm gonna keep going. Kirkland.
No,
Smith.
I'm not giving you Kirkland. I'm not giving you Kirkland.
Kirkland
I'm not
was
giving
got
you
knocked
Kirkland.
out by a fighter with 6 knockdowns.
I'm not giving you Kirkland.
Smith. Kovalev while he washed
No,
up.
I'm not giving you Kovalev
Rocky
or
Fielding.
Kirkland.
Rocky Fielding.
You can have Rocky Fielding.
Bro, I'll keep going and going. Chavez at a catch weight at 164. Like,
That
y'all
was a
see
big
where I'm
fight
coming from?
for Mexico.
What are you
that,
talking-
that made a lot of. That's a big fight for Mexico.
But I could keep going on, and that's his big names. That's his like, oh, this is your big achievements. Like
that
that's
is not his big Triple G.
I'm just saying.
Lara.
You saying Floyd? You compared him to Floyd. And
No,
I just showed
I'm
you
trying
they
to-
don't compare.
No,
so
they don't.
Let's
They
not.
don't.
Let's
They
not
don't.
like Chavez
And Floyd's my guy.
Canelo.
Holla me money team.
I just want to see him versus the best, and he's avoiding the best clearly. You trying to defend him, and you like digging your own grave. You digging your own grave.
Jacobs, Lara, Triple G, Trout.
And he lost 2 of them fights. He lost 3 of them fights that you just named. He named me 4 names, the only 4 names that he fought that was good, and he lost 3 of them 4 names.
We're talking about just getting in the ring with those
He
guys.
lost. Okay, exactly. He fought Smith, right? That's another one. That's 10, right? But for who belt? For who belt? Guess for who belt? Andre belt. Anyways,
How many names can we pull out for Charlo?
So let's talk about Charlo
His
next
whole
fight. So who
resume,
is
okay.
stepping up to grab the strap that I got off Canelo? Who
Next
is
fight,
coming
if
up?
I could
You know what
think
I'm saying?
about it.
I know y'all don't want the smoke. We got not the French fries title. It don't got no French fries over here. This is Tyson. This is Frazier. This is Muhammad Ali. Ali, the highest, the greatest, and Sugar Ray Robertson. So I'm saying right here, ain't no French fries around this belt. The one that Canelo got, there's a lot of French fries around it. So who is willing to come and get the strap out of the Charlo, out of the line, out of the Leos?
I would say that Andre, but there are some issues with their company. So the thing is, he can't.
What?
So because of the stations that they fight for. So Triple G, Canelo, and Andre are all
under the same network, the zone. So
I
he
know.
can fight him.
So, but no, that means Charlo would have to come from Showtime.
Well, I'm saying who you think gonna be more realistic for Charlo next? Like, is it Banks
Jacobs.
Jr.? Because he called him out.
Maybe.
Is it
That's gonna be his next fight.
Benavidez?
No, not Benavidez. Chris Eubanks Jr.
Oh, you think that's what
the
it
next
is?
fight. He should fight Jacobs next. I don't think that's gonna happen. But Chris Eubanks Jr. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight.
Okay. The fact that Korobov, I believe his name, he hurt his shoulder, whatever. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see what Junior had
with the torn rotator cuff. So I was not impressed. I mean, not even not impressed. I was really disappointed.
So Junior calling out Charlo. That might be next. How you see that fight playing out? Who you favor? Charlo came out and said that dude is chinny at 160. He done lost a lot of fluid and he knocking straight out. Like, he's knocking his spark out. So who you think?
Favor Charlo. Eubanks Pops is a phenomenal fighter. I can't say the same about Eubanks. Eubanks is athletic. He's got some DNA, some natural thing. But every time he steps up, to me, he loses. Well, now he talks a good game. He's articulate. Has the British accent.
He fast.
Yeah,
got a good
he's
chin.
strong, fast, athletic.
But you know what his
I don't
problem
think he's
is?
ever been dropped.
You know what his problem is? I believe Junior, his biggest problem.
What?
He's not a smart fighter in the ring. Like you got this fighter with all these attributes that he does. Mm-hmm. All he's missing is like know what to do at the exact time, where to position yourself at the right time. Yeah. Feint, jab,
setting traps, like walking people into your punches.
And I don't see that with Junior. I agree. I don't see him fighting a small fighter. He let his emotion get the best of him. As soon as he get cracked, he over here swinging wild, and it's like none of that will land you. Like it's cool to punch the bag fast. It looks great on the camera, but when you fighting, it's not a punching bag. It's a speed bag that punch back.
It's mental. It's mental warfare.
I believe Charlo could even stop him. But I just think Junior, the type of fighter, he a warrior. So he might not be able to stop that version of him at 160 because he's a big 160 pounder, like one of the biggest. But Charlo, with his jab, stiff, hard jab, his athletic ability, the fact that he think in the ring, I would do like I would like to see him go to the body more, especially with that jab he has and set up punches more. With a jab, sometimes he get too happy head hunting. That's the only adjustment that he need to make really to make himself a better fighter and kind of use his jab to set up punches more. And you know, but it is what it is. So Canelo Alvarez, he's saying he looking at a return at 168 and a fight with either
Caleb Smith
or Billy Joe Saunders. Again, he said Billy Joe Saunders boring. But now he looking to fight him after he looked horrible. So like I said, the blueprint to fighting Canelo is not to fight the best. Because Charlo could go and fight Andrade and beat him. But that don't mean Canelo fighting him. That mean Canelo probably avoid him even more. Because even when Charlo beat a J-Rock Williams, Canelo didn't want to see him. So now he looking to fight Billy Joe Saunders after Billy looked horrible his last fight. So like I said, the blueprint to fighting Canelo is come off your worstest horrible performance against a washed-up fighter or an unknown fighter where Canelo going to look at you and be like, oh, yeah, I think I could take on this guy. Now, what you think? Caleb Smith, who he fight for?
Caleb Smith?
Yeah.
What you mean as far as
like
with
who is?
TV?
Yeah.
What?
Can you know? Like, is it the
I
zone?
don't know.
Can you like figure that out
yeah,
real quick?
I'll
I
look it
talk
up.
while you figure out. I just need to figure out who he fight for because that's kind of was random. I didn't think he was looking to fight Caleb Smith. Now he don't want the Gennady Golovkin fight, and I'm glad.
I'm glad.
But,
I don't.
But Gennady Golovkin looking to cherry pick another opponent. Like step
I'm
up,
over
man.
it.
Fight Charlo, fight Andrade, and that's why I believe Canelo don't want to see Andrade or Charlo because I think he looking like okay. You saw what happened to Ruiz against AJ. I think that's the same thing that's gonna happen to Canelo versus Andrade and Charlo. He's going to get outboxed. He's going to get tattooed on his face. He's going to look like 69 and start bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Because Canelo, he kind of like Ruiz. He's stuck in the mud. Like he has fast hands, but he don't have fast feet. Demetrius Andrade have perfect footwork. Charlo is a fighter that if you stationary, Charlo, if you stationary, man, that dude going to ether you. You better move away from him. You know what I'm saying? You better have some rhythm to you, which Canelo has, but it's like he's stuck in the mud with his footwork. So that being said, it don't matter what them two guys do from the coincidentalist. Canelo don't want to see them brothers. You know what I'm saying? But what you say?
Caleb Smith, his last fight was on the zone, or he fought Hassan in there.
Oh man, that's when he lost. Like he looked like there was a robbery.
Damn.
See,
he's a good fighter. He's 27.
Man, he lost his last fight. I just want to make sure it was him. He lost his that's what I'm saying. Two fighters that you could check out that fight. Everybody say it was a robbery.
You're talking about against Ryder?
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. Two fighters that look horrible their last fight. Meanwhile, Andrade and Charlo, two fighters that look great their last two fights, and he don't want to see them. That's my problem with Canelo. People talking about I'm hating. I just want to see the best versus the best. That's why Canelo Alvarez will never grow as a fighter. That's why Floyd Mayweather keep coming back to the boxing game, stealing his money, because he ain't fighting the best like he's supposed to. Okay. He giving up his strap because he don't got the cojones to hop in the ring with Andrade.
Okay.
The fighter like Charlo that's willing to fight him in Mexico City.
Let me read something about Caleb. So Caleb Smith is a British professional boxer. He has held the WBA and Ring Magazine super middleweight title since 2018. He won the World Boxing Super Series superweight middleweight title that same year.
Did he win his last fight or not?
I mean, on his record, he won.
Did he rob him or not?
I mean,
like that's what I'm saying. It's like the Munguia thing. Like I that's what I just said. Is he keep fighting fighters that look horrible, bro? He lost his last fight. I watched it. I just wanted to make sure it was that guy because I really was like, man, I hope it's the other dude that fight for PBC, but I forgot his name. But you talking about this dude that fight for Eddie Hearn that robbed his opponent, and it ain't no disrespect to him.
He has nothing to do with the judges. So you're not gonna give a guy credit who won the World Series super middleweight championship?
He lost his last fight by robbery. I'd be more mad because I'm like he robbed his opponent and he just the only reason he got the title and the win is because Eddie Hearn was his promoter, and he worked with DAZN, and he fight for DAZN, so they trying to make that fight happen with Canelo because, they know Canelo is willing to fight him now since he looked horrible. But this is my issue with Canelo. Charlo telling you, I got more Mexican heart than you. I fight you in Mexico, and you rather fight somebody coming off a robbery and another fighter that's look horrible his last fight. But you complain about Andre running too much, but you fight Saunders. The same guy you said he boring. The same guy you said he run too much. Now you want to fight him, but you don't want to fight Andre. Charlo, you gave him your strap, and now you want to fight somebody that just robbed somebody. Like, that's my issue with Canelo. Can you justify that? Please justify that.
If somebody out there can name me Andre's last 3 fighters, I will send you a split decision T-shirt.
Hogan. Like, so Hogan beat Munguia, but you ain't gonna give him the credit for that. But this is my issue. Can I clarify this?
Speak.
If Canelo Alvarez fought Kovalev, and either one of these 2 fighters
made history.
Let me finish this point. If you fight Kovalev, if you fought Kovalev or Billy Joe Saunders or whoever, right? I wouldn't mind if Charlo, Andre, all these fighters ducking him. So he was like, you know what? Since all these fighters keep ducking me, I'm going to fight this guy that's available. I don't got no problem with it. But when he has the best trying to fight him and he chooses to fight these guys that's coming off horrible performances, I don't see Canelo fans questioning who the hell Kelly Smith beat. I don't see fans questioning Billy Joe Saunders and questioning who he beat when he ducked Andre himself and he took steroids.
No, he didn't duck Andre.
He ducked Andre at 168. DAZN offered him a fight with Andre at 168.
They were scheduled to fight.
No,
I saw the press conference. I saw them on there. They was like Andre came dressed up like a English. You don't remember that suit?
You're not following where I'm going. Recently, DAZN offered Billy Joe Saunders a fight at 168. He turned it down. That's official. This is not. I'm just saying. So he turned down a fight with Andre. Why are they getting this opportunity? It's because they look horrible. I don't see the Canelo fans saying, who Rocky Fielding fought, he don't deserve a fight with him. That's my issue with Canelo Alvarez. Charlo is fighting Hogan is because the best, according to you, Canelo Alvarez don't want to fight him. The best, Gennady Golovkin, and he's trying to fight him.
So the best he could do was a 154 fighter coming up.
That just beat a world champion, Munguia. Let's call it what it is. So that's what I'm saying.
One thing I would like to say is just like, I want to know, because you like Canelo, so I would hate it if you didn't like a fighter, just how you, because you're like a real strict parent who doesn't even want to congratulate his son.
Do you like Floyd? Let me ask you this.
Floyd is my dude. He's the best fighter of his generation.
If you're a Floyd fan, Floyd don't need no more haters. Let's move on to the next topic. Terrence versus Mean Machine. Man, finally, the interview I've been waiting for, him and Andre Ward came out. Mm-hmm. But it was on ESPN Plus. I'm like, man, I got to go log in to ESPN Plus to view this interview.
I don't even have ESPN.
Yeah, so speaking of that, there's no promotion. Then Bob Arum came out, which I already reported on it. He came out and stated Terrence Crawford has a life contract with him. Basically, he has a contract with him to probably the time he retired, after the time he retired. So after Terrence Crawford retires, he's basically going to work with him on being a commentator on ESPN or Top Rank. So what's up with this lifetime contract with Terrence Crawford, and why did Terrence make such a mistake? Listen, didn't we talk about this during the last episode?
Yeah.
Talking about Terrence Crawford getting 0 promotion, and now, listen, it is crazy news. So, just the fight with Mean Machine, have you seen anything since then? And what do you think about this live contract with Top Rank?
I don't like it at all. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. I understand it from Bob Arum's viewpoint.
I understand it from Bob Arum.
This is the most talented fighter that I think that he's had since Floyd Mayweather. And, of course, he wants to put him under a lifetime contract. Who wouldn't want to do that for a Terrence Crawford who's in his prime, who is easily top 2 pound for pound? Why he would do that, I'm not sure. But I'm not gonna count anybody's money or pocket. So obviously he thought it was the best decision for him. But I keep telling people that when you look at Bob Arum, when his top fighters leave him, that is when they reach the heights of their stardom. Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Mikey Garcia. And I think
And
that
Ruiz.
was like, and that was, and Ruiz. And I think that should have been the next step for Crawford. So Crawford's next opponent is
Mean Machine.
Kavalioska Mean Machine, but I can't even say
His name. It's a good fighter. I checked him out. He could fight, but it's just
it should not be.
he not
fighting
getting
this.
promoted, man.
He did I did when he told me about the fight. I was like, how?
He thought it was the month after that.
I thought it was in January because there's been zero promotion. There's been zero when you talk about probably the best pound for pound fighter out there. But at the same time, I'm sorry. I don't want to like anybody who gets in the ring. They get my respect. But I want you to fight the Porters of the world. I want you to fight the Danny Garcias of the world. I want you to fight the Errol Spencers of the world. I mean, hell, like even like Adrian Broner, like that'll be interesting. Like I want to see you be the first person to like knock out Adrian Broner.
Adrian Broner ain't fun to fight him, but I believe Bob Arum stated future fights for Terrence Crawford as possible are Taylor or Regius, which is like. Okay, Taylor fight is big, but it's not. No, I'm interested in Taylor fight, but that's about it. Now,
he fight them dogs. I mean, all of them hungry. You know what I'm saying? Lions at 147.
Yeah. Now Crawford, he stated because the fact that Errol Spence has the accident issue going on, nobody know what's up. Mm-hmm. They asked him about the Porter fight. He stated, "Porter is my best friend. Nobody could force me to fight him." And when I say nobody, I mean no one. So if we going to fight, we're going to sit down, me and him, and talk about it and see if it's cool. Yeah. So I didn't know it was that big of a deal now. Like, because obviously Porter said kind of around the same lines, but then he said, I'm willing to fight. If I can't get the Errol Spence rematch, I'm willing to fight Crawford. Yeah, so he didn't make it seem like it's that big of a deal, but he showed a lot of respect for Terrence Crawford. Now, I understand their friendship.
As he should.
Now, I understand their friendship, but as long as there's no blood involved, like if you ain't my brother, Professor Nim, I'm be like, man, let's go get his money. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna get his bag.
I'm gonna get $3 million fighting you. So after the fight, we're going to celebrate that we no longer friends. We best friends now. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing with Crawford. Like, I get you what you're saying, but when people do hear that, they automatically start thinking, like, hold on. Like, the fact that Porter got this awkward style, and style do make fights. And Terrence, credit to Terrence, he stopped his last 5 opponents, and most of them were undefeated. For example, Jeff Horn. He lost to Pacquiao, in my opinion, but it was a close fight. And you saw how, Crawford did him. Benavidez. Benavidez, he knocked him out. Amir Khan, but it's okay. He dropped him in the first round and ended up stopping him.
And so Amir quit. He made Amir quit.
Yeah,
he made Amir quit.
For you to do something like that to Amir Khan, who got all the heart in the world, you have to be special. So the fact that Porter is this one fighter that's willing to fight you from the PBC while Errol Spence is out, because Errol Spence is willing to fight him too, but he is out the picture for right now. Now, why not fight a Porter? Yeah, he your friend, but you could push that friendship aside. Like, for example, Errol Spence and Charlo, right? They so close that they train together. They spend time together. Like, they see that each other daily.
Texas connection.
Yeah, that's different.
Houston, Dallas.
Like for example, if Errol Spence move up to 154, he'd be like, "Oh, I ain't fighting Charlo." I understand that. I respect that because you will see him every day. But you talking about a friend that you knew in the past, you still talk to, but you live in a different city and a different state than he do. He live in Vegas. You live in Omaha. Like, y'all friends, y'all good. Like, y'all good friends. Y'all respect each other. Y'all both respectful. It's all about respect.
It is.
However, the friendship is not that close. Obviously, I'm not going to judge their friendship, but I'm saying it's not they seeing each other daily where it's going to affect it. Like, okay, I'm going to make some money with you. after we fight, we're gonna laugh about it when we see each other. So what's your take on what Crawford said? Because now people gonna like, hold on, maybe you don't like something that Porter does. Maybe because a lot of people started coming to my channel talking about, oh, Porter, he got a style to beat Crawford because he's gonna make it ugly, especially in the inside. So how you see that?
I think Crawford is just a master. I think that he'll have a little struggle at first just with the physicality, but he's gonna make the adjustments, and I think I don't think he can stop Porter, but I think he'll put a little nice whooping on him.
Porter got a chin. He remind me of Hagler for some reason.
But with that, I really don't mind it that much because
you don't mind what? You don't mind what?
I don't mind him not jumping at that fight right now because there's probably at least 4 or 5 people that I would love to see him fight before that.
Who?
Pacquiao, Danny Garcia.
That's not gonna happen.
Why not?
Danny Garcia ain't want to smoke.
Errol Spence, Adrian Broner, Mikey Garcia.
Like
those are all
You rather see man, you got something against Broner, man.
No, I mean,
you want to see Broner versus Crawford and not Porter?
I want to see him get stopped.
Listen, you want to see.
I want to see Broner get stopped.
Nah, that's messed up, man. Hey, be all day. He the problem. You know what I'm saying? Some people wrote the solution down, but he's still a funny character in the boxing game. Plus,
he is. He's a character.
Like I respected Broner for one thing. He fought the best. Like, it don't, regardless of win or lose, he ain't a cruise. He ain't finna duck the smoke just because somebody could beat him. Now, he even fought Porter. So, talking about Sean Porter, for example, I believe if he not going to fight Sean Porter, either he has like a Taylor fight, at least. This is at least statement. Taylor fight. Danny Garcia fight, which would be great. They got history. Even a Mikey Garcia fight.
That'll be good. That's
interesting.
Whatchamacallit,
the other guy, Keith Thurman. That'd be a nice trash talk. That'd be spicy. Pacquiao fight won't happen because I ain't even going to get to that. I mean, he was with Top Rank.
Yeah.
And your promoter, Bob Arum, let that go. Like Pacquiao, the guy that made Bob Arum all his money, he gonna leave Bob Arum, and you still with Bob Arum? Like that should give you a clue. Hold on, why did Pacquiao leave? Like Pacquiao, bro, it even shocked me when he signed with Al Heyman. So that being said,
and I want to say I'm Team Heyman too. I don't know what he's talking about over here with this Arab stuff. I'm Team Heyman.
What you talking about?
That's you talking about.
What did I say?
Talking about my promoter or whatever. I'm Team.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant I'm talking about like speaking of Crawford perspective.
Oh, you saying your promoter? Yeah,
like I'm talking about respect. That's his promoter.
His promoter, yeah.
And Pacquiao left him and went to Al Heyman. Like I respect Al Heyman. I got all the respect in the world. Matter of fact, we will add this topic just because of that. That you mentioned that. Now I got all the respect for Al Heyman, right? This writer in particular. I'm gonna pull his name in a few after when you get your point across. After I'll tell you what he stated. Now the Zone been doing a lot of great things in the sport of boxing. I believe the one that haven't did the most is ESPN haven't been doing great. ESPN, I don't think, man, promotion wise, fighting wise, they had good cards, but they didn't promote them the right way, and they don't be stacked. The only one that really got stacked up that's not getting promoted is the next week fight with
Crawford and Mean Machine, and then also
Lopez versus Comey. Which you got our prediction. Remind me to get our prediction right after this.
Yeah.
Which they not promoting that fight, right? Meanwhile, on PBC, you see Al Heyman. This writer talked about it. I mean, he had these pay-per-view fights that were successful, from Errol Spence to Deontay Wilder to great promotion before that. I mean, Deontay Wilder was doing 2.5 million views promotion-wise on the network before the fight and stuff like that. So Al Heyman is one of the guys that's spending the least amount of money and using his investment and getting a lot of revenue back. So PBC, they could hate on it all they want. I mean, they've been hating on PBC, talking about it's going to fail from the day one it started. And look at it today. The biggest franchise in boxing, looking like the UFC almost, if they could get one name, one face, and establish the PBC belt, right? Meanwhile, the Zone, they doing well too. We're not going to lie. Yes, Eddie Hearn did not live up to the promises, the fake promises that he brought up, saying we're going to have that many fights. We're going to have that many this. He did not live up to that. But they did offer us great moments of like, Ruiz, Anthony
it's
Joshua.
been an interesting year.
Canelo cherry picking and this and that, but it's okay, right? We've seen at least better fights than maybe ESPN, let's say.
Yeah.
However, the money they invested this year alone, like for example, Canelo Alvarez broke the bank for $365 million. He talked about Gennady Golovkin getting $100 million. Mm-hmm. He talked about these few fighters. That's $500 million right
Joshua,
there.
You got to think about Joshua's contract.
Joshua is 1-to-1 fight basis, but still they paying all this money, right? However, are they not getting the return? For example, when Canelo fought, they have to pay him $33 million.
Yeah.
They're not getting that revenue, and that's why they increased the price from $10 to $20, which the Zone admitted that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
Now the Zone became the most expensive network, more expensive than ESPN, more expensive than PBC, on Showtime or on Fox, except pay-per-view. But my thing is this. You're over here trying to kill the pay-per-view market, which you can never do because once that anticipation is high, it's bigger than an app. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So did the Zone made a miscalculation with Eddie Hearn, trusting Eddie Hearn with their and giving Golden Boy like up I believe was like almost $90 million to bring Canelo. And that's why Canelo is mad at Oscar De La Hoya, because Golden Boy got $90 million contract with the Zone, not including the Canelo.
Yeah.
So to that you say what?
So I say anytime you're in bed with Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, then it's going to be some issues. On the other side, you have people like Richard Schaefer and Al Heyman. So I'm going to ride with that team right there. So a lot of people don't know Richard Schaefer was the reason why Golden Boy was able to get to the height of their height. And then he even recognized the instability of Oscar De La Hoya, left him, teamed up with Al Heyman, took all their fighters. It was a coup, definitely. But he also saw that, like, man, this guy right here, I can't put my future in jeopardy with messing around with Oscar De La Hoya. So I think that the Zone made a miscalculation, and if they're going head-to-head against Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer, I think they're on the losing end. With that said, I think that they have an opportunity to put on some good fights in the future, but they did not stipulate in Canelo's contract that they could vet his fights. So that's why you get a Rocky Fielding fight, and you get all these other ones, because Canelo went through the contract. He's like, all right, I'm going to sign this $365 million contract, but they didn't put any language in there that said that they would be able to have final say on his fights, and then you get some of these duds of a fight in there.
All right. No, I agree with you 100%. Al Heyman's such a genius that Bob Arum criticized him and then went and followed his blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn came to the game talking all this ish. Now, Akhi, the same energy, Eddie Hearn. What happened to your fake promises?
Exactly.
Now, the article was written by Chris Carlson, so I just want to give him the credit for the article. It was a great article. The article called, and they named it The Zone 1 Year Progress Report. So I just want to clear that up. Check out the article.
I read that. Yeah,
it was a great article.
It is a good article.
Yeah, and he touched on all facts.
Unbiased. Yeah, it's unbiased. It's just straightening. So, but before we end that, we got a prediction
on Comey
and tell a few more there. I want to give a shout out. I'm about to holler at y'all in a second. Devin and everything I told her I would give her a shout out on the show. Okay. So with that said,
we're gonna talk about it in a few. Now the Comey and Lopez fight, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch on it real quick. I just want to clarify. I know Comey and he a nice person, so I'm not gonna give you I'm not gonna pick a name.
Okay,
but I'm gonna just give my breakdown.
Yeah.
Lopez, he gonna have to box. He ain't gonna be relying on his power. He's gonna need to box. Mm-hmm. He gonna need to bring that left hand up. Don't be trying to do that Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll, because Comey with his right hand, the fact that you got your hand down, that's an open target. He could time you, he could set you up, and he could punch with either hand. So for Lopez, in order for him to win the fight, he got to box smart. He got to use his athletic ability the right way, and use your boxing skill. I seen Lopez box Ugas, in sparring, obviously sparring, he looked like he was doing better than Charlo. I mean, not Charlo. I'm sorry. Than Sean Porter when he fought him. I was like, man, Lopez looking sweet against Ugas. I was like, man, Ugas I don't know if Ugas was taking it easy on him, but Lopez was doing great, and I was so impressed. Obviously, Comey on the other hand, he got to make it a war. He got to make it use his jab and set up the right hand. Use that jab to the body.
Yeah.
Use the 1-2. And you got to make adjustments when Lopez make his adjustments. Just fight smart. And from talking to Comey, I got an interview with him. Check it out. His mindset going into the fight is dangerous. Like he taking it very seriously. I was telling him, oh, did you see Lopez last fight? He kind of looked exposed, this and that. People saying he looking exposed and shit like that. Now he responded to me by saying, every opponent is different. You won't know till you get in the ring with him. So the fact that he said that, like, I already realized, oh man, this man taking Lopez seriously. Yeah. He's not looking at Lopez like people think he a clown and this and that. Now Lopez is the real deal, guys. Now Lopez he might not be a Shakur. He might not be a Shakur, but he is good. Like, there's just the fact that he talk ish. People be like, oh, he this and that. But Lopez could fight, guys. So Comey, on the other hand, he a fighter that slept on because Lopez is the favorite. Obviously, a lot of people are picking Lopez, but I'm saying more so don't sleep on Comey because Comey here to fight, and he could easily pull off the upset and be the one that's fighting Lomachenko, not Lopez. So what's your take on that, and who you picking?
So with that said, I think that the more talented boxer is Teofimo Lopez. I think I like Richard Comey a lot. He's somebody who is not as talented, but he works hard. He knows what he wants to do once he gets into the ring. He has a long right hand that he wants to land. He works behind his jab well. He actually knocked out, I think, his last opponent with a nice left hook. The longtime sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao. His name will come to me in a second.
Oh yeah.
But
I remember this.
With that said, I think that Lopez's last fight was a wake-up call. He's got some family issues, which I hate to see. It really stems from his wife or whatnot. I think his family just does not like or care for her at all. But I think that he realizes what he needs to do in this camp. He's getting the people who should not be in there away from him. And I think he's actually going to have a really good performance against Comey in this fight. I think Comey will have his opportunity, but I could see maybe even a late round stoppage for Lopez, which I hate to say. Like I like Comey is like we're actually one of those real kind of good guys of the sports.
Yeah.
And to kind of recognize it. And with Lopez, I actually like Lopez. I think he's good for the sport. He's charismatic. He goes for the knockout. He has some controversy because particularly when he knocks out some of his opponents, he has some antics that a lot of people don't approve of. But I actually think he's really good for the sport, and I see him taking this.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say if I agree or disagree with your assessment on who you picking, but now you're definitely right on both of the fighters. Comey, he gave Robert Easter a great fight back in the day when he was a champion, and that's when I first took notice. So speaking of, this is our last episode where we hosting it.
Right now
we hosted and posted.
Yeah, it's pre-recorded.
Yeah, it's pre-recorded. We hosted it, then posted. But later on next week, will we be going live after 12 rounds of fighting in split decision? And we came out to KO by Akhi. Akhi, man, he didn't KO his own brother, man. How you gonna do it like that?
3P, baby.
So Professor Nim think it's a split decision. Oh no, he thought it was a unanimous decision. But God only made a couple things perfect. That's Floyd Mayweather boxing record, and that's me on split decision. You know what I'm saying? So I always get the upper hand every time. So
wasn't you just doing push-ups on live?
What
was that? What was that? Because that's right, you lost the bet.
Oh yeah, I went for Ruiz. I ain't gonna cap. I thought Ruiz was gonna come prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He from the desert too. I thought he was gonna be able to relate. You know what I mean? But He came not ready. But it is what it is. You were doing the push-ups for the Wilder fight too, so you already know you could relate to them push-ups. So that being said, I did a full 40 push-ups. He did a quarter of a push-up, so his is equivalent of 10. That being said, I got Canelo strapped as we speak, and obviously, you know, it's smoke season. Anybody can get it. Y'all want to debate, y'all could call in. All these casual fans, all these guys that's talking about, oh, they calling me out, calling Professor Nim out, calling Dante out. Listen, y'all could call in. This is new media only. We talking with facts. So we were gonna have a host. We gonna have a completely different look than what we do now. We changing things up. We coming harder than ever. You know what I'm saying? Every time y'all try to knock us down, we stay getting up, and we stronger than ever. So that being said, be on the lookout for that. We're going to have a call-in number. Y'all could call in to debate. We could agree to disagree. So after 12 episodes, we're going to have the 13th episode live on Sunday. On Sunday. I know I've been saying split decision on Monday every time, so people might think it's going to be on Monday live, but nah, it's going to be on Sunday. So be on the lookout for that around 3 p.m. I would say. 3-4. So I will notify y'all on the comments. I'm actually post a video on that as well when the time exactly gonna be. But y'all gonna see the live post almost a couple days before that when we going live. So I just want to let all the viewers know, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a host. We're going to do it bigger than ever. So I just want to let all of y'all know. So make sure y'all click on that notification bell to get notified every time we go live on Split Decision. If you don't want to get worried about, hey, when these guys going to go live because I want some smoke, then click on the notification bell. If you ain't, then you don't want no smoke. You ain't, man, your friends telling you, yo, call Akhi, man. Akhi out here making us look bad. The Canelo Nation look bad. You know what I'm saying? How about, hey, you know what you should be telling me? Like, can you tell him that and convince him and prove him wrong for all his views? And obviously they tell him, nah, that's a different smoke. Man, you know what I'm saying? You a casual fan. You don't know ish about boxing. But Akhi, man, he got all them facts and receipts behind him. All I got is Canelo scorecards in my pocket. Man, Akhi got Canelo strapped. So y'all call in Professor Nim with his boxing record. 2-time Golden Glove. You know what I'm saying? We want all the smoke.
And with that said, we appreciate everybody who's coming. Particularly we have people who we know that they're going to be there every week. They claim that this is one of their favorite shows, the things that they look up to, and we really appreciate that. We're trying to do our best to step up our production. We work together on the content. We also take in all of your, when it is substantive, any kind of feedback or advice that y'all give us, we take that in. But man, we love y'all for rocking with us, and we keep doing it.
You gotta include. We take all donations too.
Oh yeah.
When we go live, if y'all want to donate, support the movement, support the Akhi family. Y'all
do a super chat.
The super chat,
make sure if you want to get a question in, you can do that.
You know, because sometimes I'm not gonna lie to y'all because we're gonna be debating. We're gonna have a host that's gonna keeping up. She gonna be keeping up over everything. So sometimes certain comments, like I'm not gonna be able to read everything, or she ain't gonna be able to read everything, because she definitely is not gonna interrupt us while we debating. However, if you do offer a super chat, that's the time you could get your question. You could say whatever, and we will have to mention it. So if you do got a question or a statement that you feel like, oh, that will counteract what Akhi saying or Professor Nim saying, you want to throw on the chat, super chat, we will talk about it. She will keep it in hold. She will write the question down, and she will give you definitely a shout out. And we definitely have our host that's coming. So y'all got to tune in to Split Decision episode 13 live.
Live,
you know
baby.
The rematch between Akhi and Professor Nim on live on Split Decision episode 13. We went 12 rounds.
We did.
I believe we came into the fact that Akhi won. What you think?
It's a split decision. I'm going to let y'all decide.
Y'all decide. So that being said, click on the subscribe button, click on the notification bell, and we out it.
And that I go and say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put an ice on my bay. Yeah, you riding on me. I get my drip overseas. Niggas are hating on me. Yeah.